Russell Wilson, who has 27 wins over his first 2 years in the NFL, including the postseason, ties for the most ever with Ben Roethlisberger. And he can use his legs, he uses his arm, he can use his mind. He's a smart young man.
Well, you talk about nerves and what we just saw. I like going back to that NFC Championship game. Russell Wilson, he wasn't quite as calm and collected as you would expect. Interesting to see how he does here in the early going.
It's Lynch. And Lynch just shy of the 39-yard line. A gain of 3. Sylvester Williams, the rookie, made the stop. And we heard about it before the game, and we will see a lot of Marshawn Lynch. Didn't do much talking into microphones during the week, but he does it with those churning legs. They just keep pounding you.
Well, he's not only the heartbeat of this offense, he really is the heartbeat of this football team.
Percy Harvin at the top of the screen. And in motion. They get it to him. He gets a block on the edge. Welcome back, Percy Harvin. And he's out of bounds with a big play on second down. 30-yard carry by Percy Harvin, who just touched the ball for only the 7th time this entire season.
Well, we were at Friday practice, Joe. We saw Percy Harvin involved in the game plan throughout that practice, and here they run him on a reverse. They put him in motion. Robert Ayers, he's the defensive end there, but they had a safety work into that position, and he didn't drop down either. Big play for Seattle.
Seahawks gave up 3 draft picks, including a number 1, and a lot of money. That's a false start.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's the big left tackle, Russell Okun, who was guilty of the false start. But when we talked to both Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, their eyes just lit up when they talked about Percy Harvin. And Russell Wilson said, I just don't know how anybody could be faster than Percy Harvin. He had hip surgery earlier, but he's flying around.
Well, in practice on Thursday, Joe, it looked like he had a jetpack strapped to his back.
Trying to catch his breath on the sideline. Wilson out to his right. He's got his tight end. Miller is overthrown, and he was all alone out there, and maybe an early indication of the nerves and the jitters for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he really had his pick. He had Zach Miller in the flat, who he overthrew, and he also had Golden Tate on a deep crossing route. He could have come back to him, and you know, this is some of what I talked about, that, you know, Russell Wilson said, hey, I'm going to treat it like any other game, and that sounds good, but it's not any other game, and sometimes the adrenaline and the emotion get the better of you early in a game.
Second down and 15. That one's gone for a catch. Getting 6 to Jermaine Kearse. So how good is this defense, Troy? I mean, it's been so much better, the Denver defense, the last 4 games, and they have lost Von Miller, Kevin Vickerson, Raheem Moore, Derek Wolfe, Chris Harris. It's been a rough year back there.
It has, and they've overcome a lot, as you said, Joe. And the best thing you can say about Denver right now is they're playing their best football, which is what you want.
On 3rd down and 9. Pass caught. First down. That's Kearse again. 12 yards from Russell Wilson to Jermaine Kearse, the big-bodied receiver for the Seahawks.
Yeah, they like the slant route. Seattle does. They had the 2 receivers on each side. Both of them, all 4 of them actually are running the slants. He had his choice. Work the inside guy or take the outside guy to Tate. He elects Kearse. Big 3rd down conversion.
Here's Lynch. Second carry of the game, and Marshawn Lynch lost yardage. A loss of 2, and it was Terrence Knighton who has made a name for himself here down the stretch for the Denver defense up front to make that play.
Yeah, and to tell you just how much of a difference he has made, Joe, in visiting with Russell Wilson on Thursday, I asked him about this Denver defense, and the first guy he named was Terrence Knighton. And I can tell you, after having talked to a lot of quarterbacks, no quarterback I've ever heard speaks of the nose tackle as the first defender they got to worry about.
On second down and 12, Wilson keeps it out to his left, and he's forced out of bounds. 3rd down coming up. So we saw the first throw from Wilson overthrowing Zach Miller. Last 2 throws have been good. This 6-yard carry brings up a manageable 3rd down of about 3rd and 6.
Well, that's twice now Robert Ayers, the defensive end, has failed to contain. He didn't get up the field there off of the read option look by Russell Wilson, and he's able to get outside and pick up some pretty good yardage.
8th play of the drive. Wilson going to try and pick it up with his legs. Dives, depends on the spot. And they're going to mark him a yard shy. 4th down and 1. I talked about Robert Ayers, and you're going to see him at the defensive end position, and he gets up the field, and then he comes underneath. And when you do that, Joe, you really open up the lane for the quarterback. Now, Jack Del Rio talked about it. They want to make Russell Wilson escape to his left, but you've got to be able to pursue him then when he gets to the line of scrimmage. They don't pick up the first down. And Pete Carroll is going to challenge the spot on the dive by Wilson. It is going to be a 27-yard try from this spot if it's not changed.
Made the line of game. Timeout.
And we'll take a break. Another look at it. We'll get the call when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Pete Carroll was 7 for 10 on challenges this season, 51% for his career. Here's a call.
The runner was down with the ball just short of the line of game at the 8-yard line. Because the runner was short, Seattle did not win the challenge. They're charged with their first timeout.
So being short of the line to gain, being short of that first down marker, costs Pete Carroll his first challenge. A timeout and a chance for an extra challenge. Even though they moved it a little bit closer, not enough for a first down, and now a 26-yard try as they bump the football forward less than a yard. And movement prior to the snap.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
You get J.R. Sweezy, which will make it a 31-yard try.
He was right there. And go back to the decision by Pete Carroll to challenge the spotting of the ball. Joe, I agree with the decision on his part. I think it was close enough and worth the chance and worth risking a timeout this early in the game.
This game features 2 very good kickers in Hauschka and Prater. Hauschka hits from 31. This game started with a score in a blink on a snap over the head of Peyton Manning for a safety. Field goal followed, as did a conversation on the sideline for the Broncos. Pete Carroll's team up 5.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Doritos. Doritos thanks all our fans who made ads for this year's Super Bowl. And by Beats by Dre. Hear what you want.
Aerial coverage provided by Bud Light. We continue on in Super Bowl 48, a 5-0 Seattle lead. The early safety, the field goal, a minor win for the Denver defense to keep the Seahawks out of the end zone. Field goal by Hauschka after a 9-play drive, covering 4.5 minutes. Holiday waiting for another. This time out of the back of the end zone. So Peyton Manning in the offense for the Broncos will start. And now flag with a late hit. A flag just came in.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Kicking team number 83. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the 20-yard line. First down.
They get Ricardo Lockett for that hit on Omar Bolden. And so that moves the ball up to the 35. We're a long way from Seattle, but it is loud. Here's Moreno. And no shot picks up 3. Cliff Averill in on the stop. Well, which part of it do you want to look at for the Denver Broncos? The record-setting 606 points, the touchdowns, the year for Peyton Manning, his 5th MVP. What they can do to you on the outside of the tight end spot and a good offensive line.
Yeah, where do you start in trying to slow that down?
Number 1 defense trying to do that. Pass is caught, big hit. Cam Chancellor. He made the hit on Thomas. And a gain of just 2, and Demaryius Thomas got popped.
Cam Chancellor, 31, the strong safety. He's looking it up. He's expecting the crossing routes. Demaryius Thomas, they cover everybody up well on the outside. He's coming underneath. And Cam Chancellor in that zone coverage comes up and lays the wood.
3rd down and 5. Manning. Pass is caught by Thomas, but short of a first down. Julius Thomas, the tight end, good for 3, and it's a quick 3 and out for the Denver offense.
Yeah, you look at Denver in the regular season, Joe, they had the second fewest 3 and outs in all of football, and so not a great way to start this football game. The first play of the game, the snap over Peyton Manning's head, and then they come out after Seattle's able to get 5-point lead, unable to do anything on the offensive side of the ball.
Even after the penalty and starting at the 35. A punt from Colquitt. Short one. And a fair catch called for and taken in by Golden Tate. He's as big as a linebacker. He plays safety. His name is Cam Chancellor, 6'3", 232. And Demaryius Thomas knows all about him.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new Chevy Silverado 2014 North American Truck of the Year.
Well, so far it's been all Seattle. We had the mistake on the snap over the head of Peyton Manning, the safety. Next time, Broncos got it 3 and out. And so this drive will start at the 28. After the punt by Colquitt. Back to work, Russell Wilson. Wilson fires incomplete for Tate. Are you ready for the biggest concert of the year? Stay tuned for Bruno Mars with special guest, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, in the Pepsi Super Bowl 48 halftime show. Get hyped for halftime. 2nd and 10. It's Lynch. Well played by the Denver defense. 3rd down coming up. A gain of just 2. Nate Irving was in there on the stop.
Well, it's pretty obvious here in the early going, Joe, as far as what Denver is trying to do. I mean, they've stacked the line of scrimmage. We've seen a couple runs, one by Percy Harvin, but Marshawn Lynch here in the early going, which is the toughest time to run the football. They've held up very well, and they're one-on-one on the outside with these receivers.
Third down and 8. Wilson again out to his left. Pass is caught by Golden Tate. And a first down for Seattle.
Denver likes to give a lot of different looks in the secondary. They only rush 3 guys, which allows Russell Wilson to keep it alive. And Golden Tate works back down the sideline, gets past the markers, and picks up another first down for the Seattle offense.
And again, Russell Wilson out to his left. They made him throw going to his left.
I've seen him many times, Joe, throw well going to his left. He's better going to his right, but don't think that he can't do the things that he wants to moving to his left.
On first down, Wilson finds a fullback, Robinson. Shook one tackle, and Robinson crossed the 45, a gain of 6. Russell Wilson, the 75th overall selection back in 2012, and all he's done is take over and win. Got his team to the playoffs last year. Now he's got them in the Super Bowl year 2. 2nd and 4, Lynch brought down, and a play made by Mitch Unrein. No gain, and Unrein held on to bring him down.
Well, Mitch Unrein is one of those unsung guys that really has contributed a lot to this football team, and he just beats Max Unger right off the ball, and he gets the penetration in the backfield, and then everybody else rallies, and that's what they have to do. The inside pressure against Marshawn Lynch, and they will be effective if they can do that throughout this game.
3rd down and 4. Blitz. Wilson fires, pass caught. First down, Doug Baldwin. And a nice catch by number 89, a gain of 6.
Yeah, set up pretty well. And Denver, as we saw in the previous 3rd down, only rushed 3. This time they bring 6. And so everybody's locked up in man coverage, and it's one-on-one. Doug Baldwin against Champ Bailey. They try to run that natural rubbing action up the field there and frees up Baldwin for the first down. It's a nice drive right now for the Seahawks,
who are 3 for 4 in converting 3rd downs to start the game. Pass caught by Harvin. And Percy Harvin, who was led by the throw, picks up 5.
We talked about Percy Harvin a little bit earlier, Joe, and the various places that they're going to align him to try to allow them to get the ball into his hands quickly. We saw the reverse on the first possession. Now they put him in a stack position and they allow him to get the wide receiver screen. But he's a dynamic player, and for a guy who hasn't played any more than what we've already said, just a couple of games this year, he has a prominent role within this game plan.
Toss to Lynch, throw back to Wilson. He's in trouble. Russell Wilson just flips it forward. He was outside the pocket. He was under pressure, but did the ball get back to the line of scrimmage?
I don't think it did, Joe.
Well, they don't throw the flag. Terry McCauley made the announcement. We couldn't hear. Luke Wilson, I guess, in their estimation, close enough to it. And so now it's third down.
Yeah, didn't get to the line of scrimmage, but at least was close enough to a receiver. And an excellent job by Russell Wilson just getting the ball out and not taking the loss.
Harvin started the play in the backfield. Wilson's going to float it. Ball went downfield. What a throw. What a catch. First and goal.
Well, I was talking about how they're locked up one-on-one with these receivers, and he starts up outside, and then he's able to get up the field. Baldwin again on Champ Bailey, and he had plenty of separation, and Russell Wilson just had to make sure he didn't overthrow him on that ball.
37-yard completion. First and goal from the 6, Marshawn Lynch. Penalty flag on the play, and Lynch is thrown to the ground. Nate Irving made the stop. Here's the call against Seattle.
Holding offense number 60. 10-yard penalty. First down.
He's going to his first Pro Bowl. That's the center, Max Unger.
You see Max Unger there. He got the hold on Terrence Knighton, and Terrence Knighton is going to be a handful throughout this entire game.
Now first and goal. Handoff is to Lynch. And they have stuffed him pretty good so far. They've been up front making plays on the Denver defense. John Phillips was the first guy there to make the stop.
We'll go back and take a look at the route here by Doug Baldwin and how he got freed up. Golden Tate, they're anticipating man coverage. Can you get the rub? But they get Champ Bailey to hold up just enough and create that separation. And I know these receivers, they don't feel like they get enough respect around the league for the job that they do, Joe, and they're probably right. They're a lot better than people realize.
Now second and goal, play clock at 1. Harvin dropped it. They didn't blow a whistle, but it's an incomplete pass, clearly forward. Now third down and goal.
Well, the one thing about it, Joe, when we were visiting with Jack Del Rio, and you say, how do you control Marshawn Lynch? And he said, well, the way we control him is we have to win on third down so he doesn't get as many rushing attempts. Well, they've done a great job against Marshawn Lynch. They just have not been able to get off the field on third down.
And now a challenge flag is thrown by John Fox. He's challenging to make sure this was a forward
Denver
pass.
is challenged, but the pass was backward, and they clearly recovered in the continuing action.
They did
Timeout.
recover in the continuing action, but a challenge from John Fox. Looked like a forward pass, but a challenge by the Broncos. We'll get the call when we come back. The Broncos were 1 for 7 on challenges this year. About to be 1 for 8.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The pass was forward and incomplete. Denver is charged with their first timeout.
Well, you said you agreed with the challenge by Pete Carroll earlier. This is one that goes down, in my mind at least, as a waste. And now neither head coach will get the bonus challenge. Each side down to 1 challenge remaining.
Yeah, I think that's maybe even the bigger point is you lose the timeout, of course, but then only being left with 1 more challenge through the next 3 quarters.
Now third and goal. Wilson, end zone. Pass is incomplete. Curse lost it going to the ground. Had it for a moment, tried to get both feet down, and then lost it going to the turf.
Well, he had it just for a moment. You're right, Joe, and Nate Irving was able to get his hand in there and just get it loose because Kearse had it. You see, he's got it with strong hands, but Nate Irving reaches in there with his right hand and is able to jar it loose. So an excellent play by Nate Irving, saving the touchdown.
A guy who's playing for the injured Von Miller, who tore his ACL third week of December. Hauschka's 2 for 2. This one good from 33, but again, Denver able to hold Seattle out of the end zone. Big play by Irving. And it's 8-0 Seattle.
Today's game is sponsored by Bank of America, proud to join Red in the fight to deliver an AIDS-free generation.
In this Super Bowl 48, Pro Bowl free safety Earl Thomas wearing a microphone. His reaction after a third down stop.
You're a beast.
The kickoff from Hauschka hits the crossbar. That's got you laughing over here. We had a chance to talk to the secondary a couple of days ago. Tell you about that as Peyton Manning will come back on the field. We haven't had a chance to talk about Manning hardly at all. Learn more about the newest way to follow your favorite teams and players, NFL Now. We'll deliver personalized video wherever, whenever you want it. Sign up at NFL.com/now. This secondary for the Seahawks, they were really excited for this matchup against Peyton Manning and these Bronco weapons.
Well, to say Earl Thomas is intense is an understatement.
4 men on the rush. Pass caught. That's Welker. Welker got hit hard, a gain of 5. Peyton Manning had a 400-yard game in the AFC Championship game. First time they've failed to score on consecutive drives this postseason. They had the bad snap, then a 3-0. Moreno left side. And no shot. Ball's out. Recovered by Denver. Out there making the recovery was Zane Beatles. After Moreno coughed it up, Clemens knocked it out.
Clemens strips him of the ball, and that's an area where Denver has really been poor. They've been good in so many areas, but turnovers has not been one of them, and most of them have been fumbles. They led the league in lost fumbles during the regular season.
Now 3rd down and 7. They're coming after Manning. Pass is too high and picked by Chancellor. Intercepted by Cam Chancellor with Julius Thomas, the intended target.
Yeah, it's one-on-one, Joe. Julius Thomas, he's trying to get down the middle, and an errant throw by Peyton Manning. Cam Chancellor playing center field right there to make the play.
That's his 2nd of the postseason, 5th of the year. Turnover, Denver, Seattle's ball. This #1 defense of the Seahawks, #1 in scoring. They had the most interceptions during the regular season, most takeaways, and they get one here.
Yeah, Cliff Averill is the one who applies the pressure, and Peyton Manning feels that, and he unloads it. He has Julius Thomas open, but one of those balls that you see from time to time from Peyton Manning, you expected it if the conditions were worse than they are. Conditions aren't a factor. Cam Chancellor, who usually is down around the line of scrimmage, does not play center field as much. They mix it up, and he was in a perfect position then to make the play.
Seattle has ridden that defense to the Super Bowl, and the defense off to a fast start. From the 37, handoff is to Harbin. Harbin got a block, got the edge, and a 1st down as he picks it up, getting it inside the 25, a carry of 14 yards.
They've run that now a couple times, and they've had some success with it, and Doug Baldwin, the wide receiver, he does a good job here on Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie that allows Percy Harvin to get on that corner.
First down at the 22. Wilson, tight end made the catch. Irving on the stop, a gain of 5. That was Luke Wilson, the rookie, 5th-round pick out of Rice. That's the end of the first quarter, and the Seahawks have, for the most part, kept Peyton Manning off the field. 8-0 Seattle after 1. Super Bowl 48 back after this. Statistically, what a difference. It's the 4th time in Super Bowl history a team didn't record a first down in the first quarter, and this is the 5th time Number one defense takes on a number one offense in Super Bowl history. The defense has won 3 of the 4 previous matchups. Seattle defense outstanding. Second down and 5, it's Lynch. And Marshawn Lynch is knocked down near the marker, picked up 5. On 2nd and 5, Malik Jackson was there for the stop. First down, Seattle.
Well, that matchup, Joe, coming into this game is clearly what everybody was talking about. A resounding win by Seattle defensively in that first quarter. Right now, this drive right here for Seattle offensively is important. They're 0 for 2 in the red zone. They've dominated the first quarter of this game, and they need to take advantage of these opportunities while that offense of Denver's is struggling.
On first down, it's Lynch. Play was strung out in a good play. Play made by Trevathan. Danny made it. He was the top tackler on this Denver Broncos defense and a loss of 1.
Yeah, Danny Trevathan, he's been one of the few guys that they could really count on all season long. Just one of 2 players on the defensive side, Terrence Knighton being the other one that started all 16 games. So he's been a dependable performer. Makes a nice play.
There's the 0 for 2 in the red zone as far as getting it into the end zone. Lynch, 7 carries, 11 yards. That's it to start his day. On second down, pass caught. Baldwin ripped to the ground by Paris Lennon. Gain of 7.
And the difference right now, Joe, as we know, is just how good Seattle has been on this down. They have won on third down. You can look at a lot of football games, and once you get beyond takeaways and turnovers, third down is usually what decides who wins these games.
They're 4 for 6. Third down and 4. Wilson out to his right. End zone. Pass is incomplete, but a flag. Tony Carter gave a shove to Golden Tate and never got his head around. And it is pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense number 32. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
So now 1st and goal from the 1. Tony Carter, who was benched after the first 5 games, guilty of pass interference.
Yeah, he never gets turned around. He's got his hands in his chest on Golden Tate. That's an easy call for the official to make. And Tony Carter, as you said, he struggled early in the year. He wasn't really a part of this defense. He was primarily a special teams player, and he keeps this drive alive with pass interference.
It's Lynch. And Lynch brought down short of the end zone. Got half a yard, 2nd and goal. Marshawn Lynch, who was traded from the Buffalo Bills back in 2010. Ooh. Came close. You don't know if the knee was down or something else was down as he made that reach. 2nd and goal. Lynch again. He's in for the touchdown.
Well, they run it here to the defensive right side. There's initially a surge and contact that holds up Marshawn Lynch, but then just nobody there to finish him off. And Marshawn Lynch, one of the more powerful runners in all of football, is able to punch it in.
Points off the turnover. The extra point makes it 15-0. They've gone field goal, and now after the pick, thrown by Manning, intercepted by Chancellor. Marshawn Lynch pounds it in. 15-0, Seattle. 12 minutes left. First half. Points off the turnover after the Cam Chancellor interception. 7-play drive capped on the 1-yard touchdown run by Marshawn Lynch. The Denver Broncos, they're not used to this. Down 15, largest first half deficit this season. 19 points. They suffered their first loss in the hands of Andrew Luck in the Indianapolis Colts. So Hauska will kick it away. Holiday's trying to return 1. Going to get a chance here. Holiday to the 15, that's it. Just swarmed Cam Chancellor downfield to make the stop. And it will go as a 17-yard return to the 15-yard line. Are you ready for the biggest concert of the year? Stay tuned for Bruno Mars with special guests, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the Pepsi Super Bowl 48 halftime show. Get hyped for halftime. And Chancellor, who is in on that tackle, is down. The hard-hitting, strong safety who already has an interception and a big hit on Demaryius Thomas in this game.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why the Seattle special teams has been as good as they've been, as they do play some of these starters on those units. Cam Chancellor on the ground, and what a blow this would be if he's unable to continue.
The other half of that great safety duo for the Seahawks, Earl Thomas was the interested observer, but Chancellor looks to be all right. As Peyton Manning, I mean, what have we seen here so far? What's going on with the Denver offense, the Seattle defense?
Well, what we've seen so far, Joe, is this Seattle defense is just playing at a faster clip than Denver is offensively. We know how Seattle plays when they're in Seattle, but they're a fast-flowing defensive unit, and they have just come out here and played at a much faster level than we've seen from the Broncos.
Quick throw, pass is caught. That's Thomas. And a nice gain on first down of 6 yards. Demaryius Thomas, one of the most prolific offenses in NFL history, has had 3 possessions so far, 11 yards. Safety, a punt, an interception. The starting field position has been lopsided as well. 2nd and 4, quick throw, pass caught. That's Demaryius Thomas. Can't get it. Swarming defense, Byron Maxwell, who made 5 regular season starts, took over out of that right corner spot, made the stop.
It's a great job by Byron Maxwell. You see the double team there, and then Welker tries to come off, but he's unable to. This, in addition to being fast and relentless defensively, they understand situational football, Joe. They know what offenses are trying to do against them, and they react to that better than anybody in football.
Now 3rd down and 1, it's Moreno. And Noshan's got a first down. And the first down of the game comes with just over 10.5 minutes left in the first half for Denver.
Yeah, they needed that too. And the 3rd and short, they get a nice double team to the play side. They pull left guard Zane Beatles. He cleans it up. Big first down for Denver.
Looking left the whole way. Thomas made the catch. Maxwell on the stop, a gain of 7. Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker, the young, big wide receivers for the Denver Broncos. 2 of the main reasons why Peyton Manning wanted to come to Denver leading into last year.
Yeah, they really hadn't done much either, but he saw enough of them, even though they were a running offense at that time. And boy, did he prove to be right.
Here's Moreno again. And Noshan has got a first down.
I do know, Joe, in visiting with Peyton Manning, he said, I'd sure like to have Noshan Moreno have a good game and have everybody talking about him when this game's over, because it will mean that we've run the ball effectively.
The official on the far side ran in across the 40. The official on the near side runs in inside the 40, and it's 3rd and about 2 inches. Pass is caught. And a lunge trying to get the first down. Demaryius Thomas depends on the spot.
Almost,
it is enough for a first down.
Yeah, almost a huge mistake by Demaryius Thomas, because when he caught the ball, he should have picked that first down up easily if he just gets going up the field. There's nobody there. And instead, he decides he wants to try to bounce it and almost gave up the first down.
KJ Wright out there to make the play. First down at the 40 for Denver. Manning downfield overshoots Demaryius Thomas. So you've got Demaryius Thomas, who is 6'3", 229. Eric Decker, 6'3", 214. And Julius Thomas, 6'5", 250.
Well, that should get Earl Thomas's attention, Joe, because I know in visiting with him, he was questioning a little bit the arm strength of Peyton Manning and hadn't seen him really go downfield much in the postseason, on the deep post, on the deep go routes, and he was beat. I mean, if he was able to make a little bit better throw, if you're able to get inside, but Earl Thomas was not playing deep enough on that ball.
On 2nd down, they set up a screen. Monte ball brought down from behind. And good play up front. Clinton McDonald was there. Michael Bennett as well. A gain of just 1.
Michael Bennett gets in on that tackle, and he has been outstanding throughout this season. Led the team in sacks, has had a terrific postseason. He's a matchup problem wherever he lines up.
Chancellor back in there. 3rd and 9. Blitz. Manning has got Welker. First down inside the 45.
The biggest difference on this play, Joe, is the protection that Peyton Manning gets. They bring pressure, but the Broncos pick it up. Gets hit right after he delivers it, but he's able to hold the ball long enough to allow Wes Welker to work the route and create some separation against Walter Thurman. And I know Peyton Manning liked that matchup. Wes Welker against Walter Thurman coming into this game.
16-yard completion. Pass is caught. That's Demaryius Thomas, and on first down, a nice game. Michael Bennett out there to make the stop, and you can see the official come in, and he's going to place the ball inches shy of a first down, so 2nd and inches.
Boy, 2nd and inches, and Peyton Manning is your quarterback, and they're starting to find their rhythm, but there's a lot of plays at your disposal with 2nd and inches, including taking a shot downfield.
Instead, he hands off. That's Monte Ball, and Monte Ball might have lost half a yard. Cliff Averill on the stop, and now 2nd and inches just became 3rd and a yard.
Now Orlando Franklin, he makes no block on Cliff Averill.
To Monte Ball, and Monte Ball picks it up. That is 3 conversions on 3rd down and 1 on this drive, and this time it's the rookie out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, and Walter Thurman, he crashes the edge, and he gets a hit on Monte Ball before he gets to the first down marker, and we've seen some 3rd and shorts here on this drive, and none of them have been easy.
On 1st and 10. Penalty flag flies, as does the pass, incomplete. Well, the flag is thrown. It's against Denver.
Tripping. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Sometimes you try to do things and you hope the official won't catch them. They're not going to miss this.
Taking down Red Bryant on his way to Peyton Manning. Red Bryant, who has been around since 2008. Now 1st and 20 with the ball back just outside the 42. A screen for Tammy, the tight end, and what a play made. That was Mebane, who's been up front with Red Bryant. Mebane's been here since 2007 with the Seahawks, a loss of 2.
And that's what I'm talking about, Joe, as far as the relentless effort by the entire Seattle defense. Brandon Mebane is rushing the quarterback, and he continues to play. And you've also got Malcolm Smith out there. That's just an outstanding play by Brandon Mebane, purely on effort.
High snap, hand off to Moreno. And Moreno took it to the 35 on 2nd and 22. He got 9.
Well, Seattle actually does have a different look defensively. The first time tonight we've seen 2 deep safeties here on 2nd and long. And able to get a nice little run out of it. You don't see that very often by the Seattle defense.
3rd down and 13. Manning gets hit. Ball up for grabs. Picked off by Smith. Malcolm Smith. All alone. No flags. Touchdown, Seattle.
Cliff Averill made a play on third down, and now you're going to see him here. Orlando Franklin, he just drives him right back into Peyton Manning. Ball comes up, and then you've got Malcolm Smith, who makes a play on the ball. The receiver in the area, he does not come back to the football. Malcolm Smith does. Another huge defensive play by the Seattle team.
Another takeaway. That's the second of this first half for the team that led the league. And Malcolm Smith, who was there at the right place at the right time to end the game against San Francisco in the championship game. And the deflection by Richard Sherman was waiting and then took it 69 yards for the touchdown, and it's 22-0. So finally, a long drive. They had converted 4 times on third down, but not the 5th. Second pick thrown by Peyton Manning. Touchdown, Seattle, up 22. Aerial coverage provided by Bud Light. Talk about Denver and the fast break offense and the up-tempo. Seattle's been the faster team in this game, and their defense, no points allowed, and they've scored 9. Denver needs something desperately here before the half. They had something going, and then the pick 6. Here's Holiday. This might get him started out across the 30, but the ball comes out. Knocked out by Maragos. It looked like Seattle got on it. And it belongs to the Seahawks. Trendon Holiday with a return out across the 35. Maragos. That ball comes out late. It's a turnover, so it will be reviewed. The right forearm of Holiday is down. And we'll have to wait and see if this stands. Again, here's another look at it.
Looks like his right knee there, Joe, might even be down as well. And forearm, and this is, as you said, very close.
So they'll look at it. We'll take a break. Denver needs this call to go their way as they trail here by 22. The ruling on the field was a fumble. We'll get the call now from Terry McCauley.
After review, the runner was down by contact at the 33-yard line. It'll be first down for Denver. Please set the game clock to 3 minutes, 16 seconds.
So no fumble. The ball is out across the 30. Marked down at the 33. And, boy, the Denver Broncos want to feel good about themselves at all going in at halftime. They need something to happen right now. Manning, pass complete. Another underneath throw, this one to the tight end, Julius Thomas, a gain of 5.
Well, they desperately need to get something going, Joe. And again, just watching this first half, and it just, you watch Seattle defensively, they're flying around, they're playing a physical game, and Denver offensively just has failed to match that.
Fake the handoff. Manning steps up to the sideline and got away. Decker the intended target, and that ball floated from Peyton Manning. It's 3rd and 5. There's Commissioner Roger Goodell out in the seats on this warmer than expected night at MetLife. 3rd down and 5. Manning. Pass is caught by Demaryius Thomas. And one of the best throws we've seen from Peyton Manning, a completion of 18 yards.
That sure is. It's a back shoulder fade. Demaryius Thomas on Byron Maxwell, and a perfect throw by Peyton Manning, and a throw that Peyton said he will not attempt to make against Richard Sherman.
7 catches already for Thomas. Pass was thrown flat-footed and caught by Wes Welker, who's playing in his 3rd Super Bowl. Has yet to win one, a gain of 5. And we're coming up on 2 minutes left. Denver 2 timeouts. They get a snap before 2 minutes. Manning, pass caught. First down inside the 30, Julius Thomas. And the Broncos doing exactly what they had to do after the touchdown by Malcolm Smith. It's a first down. We're at the 2-minute warning. Super Bowl 48.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
As we welcome you back, 2-minute warning coming up at halftime. The Jeep halftime report. First down, Denver. Down by 22. Play action. Manning. Pass is incomplete. Broncos looking for a flag, and they don't get it. Julius Thomas was working on Earl Thomas. No flag, a lot of contact.
Yeah, I think there should have been a flag here, Joe. Julius Thomas coming across, and then Earl Thomas, he is there, and he cuts off the throw. And the difference that we've seen when Peyton Manning has had time in the pocket, which hasn't been often, he's been able to make some throws. We saw it to Julius Thomas earlier. But we've also seen Cliff Averill influence a couple interceptions.
Blitz off the edge. Manning gets it to Moreno. And Moreno was tackled from behind by Tony McDaniel. A gain of 6. Here's Eli Manning in a luxury suite in his home stadium, watching his big brother Peyton. Down by 22. 2 timeouts left. 3rd down and 4.
False start. Offense. Number 65. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Vasquez, the right guard. Makes it 3rd and 9. And there it was.
Well, 3rd and 4 is tough enough. Now you're 3rd and 9. At 3rd and 4, you know, I start asking, well, is he going to look at this as 4-down territory? And that would depend then or influence what you do on 3rd down. But now 3rd and 9, not so much.
Manning steps up, out to his right, throws across the field, pass caught. That's no Sean Moreno, but he's tackled short of the 1st down as we wind down toward a minute left. How about Cliff Averill? As a timeout is taken here by Seattle, a guy who was on an 0-16 Lions team back in 08.
Well, he does a heck of a job here, Joe, and he drives right through Orlando Franklin. He influenced the first interception. He caused the second interception, and they brought him in this year because of the injury in the playoff game when they beat Washington to Chris Clemens, and not sure really what his status was with the knee surgery. And Cliff Averill has been everything that they had hoped he would be when they brought him in.
Boy, he's made some plays today, and now it's 4th down and 2. Going for it to the Broncos. Manning. Pass might have been tipped. It's incomplete. Taking over the Seahawks. Clemens with pressure. And a frustrating half for Peyton Manning. A turnover on downs.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Toyota, Let's Go Places, and by Need for Speed, starring Aaron Paul. In theaters everywhere, March 14th.
Check out Fox Sports Go for Super Bowl live streaming on your desktop and tablet. No special sign-in today. Download and find more at foxsportsgo.com. Mention the name coming off the edge. Chris Clemens, he got a hand, maybe even just a finger on that throw from Peyton Manning.
He got just enough, and you see Chris Clark out there at left tackle. He's got his hands full. We've seen Orlando Franklin. They have got to shore up the edge pressure that we've seen on Peyton Manning. When he's had time, Joe, he's been very effective.
Here's Lynch. 1 timeout remaining for Seattle. They took a timeout prior to that 4th down attempt by Denver. And Peyton Manning is talking to his offensive line on the bench. Now 2nd and 6. Lynch again.
Well, Joe, you look at this right now, and if you're Pete Carroll, and we know how he likes to play it close to the vest, you know, they're very conservative offensively. They want to pound the football, and where they're at right now in this first half, he's got to be awfully happy about this, and he doesn't want to take any chances here to end this first half that could change the momentum that they have.
It's 3rd down and 5. Denver is content to walk away down 22-0 and not use one of their last 2 timeouts. Last team shut out in the first half. The Giants, Super Bowl 35 against Baltimore. They trailed 10-0. Different story here. 22-0 coming up. It's the Jeep halftime show. Skirt and the guys break down all the first half action. And stay tuned for Bruno Mars with special guest, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, in the Pepsi Super Bowl 48 halftime show. Get hyped for halftime. Pete Carroll, his Seahawks, up 22. the Seahawks in that first half of this Super Bowl 48. The bad times, the Denver Broncos, and we welcome you back inside our broadcast booth. Everybody, I'm Joe Buck. That's Troy Aikman. What do the Denver Broncos have to do to get back into this ball game?
Well, the first thing they have to do is make a stop. Seattle opens up the second half with the football, and then offensively, they've got to protect the edge pressure that we've seen that has impacted Peyton Manning. Of course, then when he does have some time, he's got to deal with the package on the back end of this secondary regarding the tight coverage. You can see what he's having to deal with here, that he's being forced to get the ball out of his hands so quickly, Joe, and the coverage is so tight that it's not allowing these guys to get into his routes. When he's had time in the pocket, he's been able to make some pretty good plays. So that's going to be a key, and it may mean getting less guys out into the routes.
Here is the Jeep second half weather report. All the talk, all the worry about the weather. It was 49 degrees at kickoff. It's currently 43. We had some light rain during the halftime show. And here are the current temperatures in Denver, 21. In Seattle, 41. It's actually warmer here in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium, where, as you said already, the Seattle Seahawks will start the second half with the football. A couple of things to talk about statistically. Actually, time of possession started to balance out. It was dominated early by Seattle. But how about the last two times, Troy, the Broncos had the ball? They ran 24 straight plays. There was an interception for a touchdown in the middle of all that. 24 plays, no points, and they've been shut out through a half.
Well, this is a game that Denver is not accustomed to playing. You look at only 123 total yards, and now they're playing from a deficit. Their defense isn't used to playing this kind of game where they now have to make some key stops. Think about what happened in the first half, Joe. Not counting the kneel down to end the first half, Seattle scored on all three of their offensive possessions, and they scored twice when they didn't even have the ball. So complete domination by Seattle in the first 30 minutes of this game.
So we'll see how the Seahawks start this second half as Prater will kick it away, and Percy Harvin is back. He had one kick return for 58 yards in his one regular season game against his former team, the Vikings, and they just pop it up. Good kick by Prater on a hop. It's Harvin, but now he takes off, and Percy Harvin gets free. Percy Harvin inside the 30. He's going to go. Touchdown, Seattle.
Joe, they pop it up because they don't want Percy Harvin to return this ball, and it's just terrible play by the special teams of the Denver Broncos in coverage. They had a number of guys with an opportunity to make a play on Percy Harvin before he got going, and once he did, there's nobody on this field. 21 other guys, nobody can run like Percy Harvin.
Hip surgery in August. He missed the championship game with a concussion. He's played in only 2 previous games this season, and he has had an impact. A short pop-up kick to try and limit the damage Percy Harvin could do on the return. Damage done. 12 seconds into the second half, a touchdown, 87 yards. Seattle all smiles at MetLife. Well, the Seahawks could not have started the second half obviously any better, and I think you saw what I saw. That was a let's keep it away from Percy Harvin, not give him the deep kick. Because Pete Carroll had told us, unless he's driven out of the back of the end zone, we've told Percy Harvin to go, and go he did.
Yeah, in fact, he said that if Percy Harvin's heels are 1 inch from the back line, he's bringing it out. So, you know, you try to keep it away from him, he gets it, and like I say, I mean, you see the lane that he has. There's 3 guys right there with a chance to make a play. Can't hold that, certainly against the kicker not making a play. But you go in there, you've got 30 minutes to figure this thing out at halftime, make a stop defensively, get the ball back to Peyton Manning, and then your special teams gives up a big one. They just took all the air out of this building for the Denver Broncos.
Pete Carroll, who actually practiced halftime at the end of the week. And his team in the dressing room, they came out, and Percy Harvin brought it. Now Trendon Holiday across the 20. And that's it. Let's go down to the field, and Aaron Andrews.
Well, Joe, obviously, I spoke to John Fox before that big play by Percy Harvin, and I asked him how you get this Denver Broncos offense going, and he said we simply just have to stop turning it over. He said he's happy with the way they're moving the ball, but they have to stop turning it over. And I said, can you match that pressure? And he said, yes, just don't turn it over, Joe.
Aaron, we've seen scoring plays 12 seconds into each half. half. The safety to start the game and the kick return for the touchdown to start the second half. And Peyton Manning is in a huge hole. He's 0 for 1 to start the second half. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Well, Joe, a very enthusiastic Seahawks team went into the locker room the same way they came out, enthusiastically. You heard a lot of guys talking about do not let up. I talked to Pete Carroll about how he counseled the team in that area. He said, we talked about finishing. Disrupting Peyton Manning, he said, has nothing to do with it. We have to keep in finish mode. Back to you.
Second down and 10. Thanks, Pam. Pass is caught. That's Welker. And a first down.
It's pretty remarkable, Joe. You look at this defensive play here, and still 29-point lead, and they're still playing single safety high, man-to-man on the outside, press coverage. The Denver Broncos did not have a 20-yard play in the first half of this game. They were second in the NFL through the regular season with big plays, and this Seattle defense doesn't give many of them up. They didn't give any up in the first half of the game.
Manning throws and nearly picked by Richard Sherman. Not on the same page. Decker was the nearest receiver to it. Second and 10.
Just a miscommunication there with Eric Decker and Peyton Manning. There's the opposite side. Byron Maxwell getting physical with Julius Thomas. And, I thought Peyton Manning in that AFC Championship game put on an absolute clinic. But the execution that's going to be required of them to get back in this game is going to be unlike they've done all year long.
For Peyton Manning, the largest comeback of his career, 24 points, which came at San Diego last year in October. Out to his right. Throws across the field. Dangerous throw. K.J. Wright was there to make the hit on O'Shawn Moreno, a gain of 6. And Moreno's slow to get up, so they stop the clock. Third down coming up after this throw back across the field. Wagner and K.J. Wright combined to make the hit.
The left leg got rolled up, the ankle. The good news is Monte Ball, they trust him in every situation. O'Shawn Moreno, a better blocker, pass protector. But Monte Ball's not bad.
Four-man rush. Pass caught by Decker for the first down. So you had the first one to Welker, this one to Decker for the 2 first downs on this possession, a completion of 6 yards.
That's the first throw they've even attempted against Richard Sherman.
Richard Sherman came into this game having been thrown at just 3 times this postseason.
Got fall asleep over there.
Pass is caught. Wide receiver screen. Demaryius Thomas with a couple of blockers in front of him, good for 4.
And some tells you that's not true. Richard Sherman, as we found out, he's a different guy when he hits the field, and we've got a Bronco down.
It's a Seahawk, actually, and it's Sherman. So they'll check him out. We'll take a break.
Today's game is sponsored by Budweiser, who reminds fans to always designate a driver.
We welcome you back to Super Bowl 48 on Fox, America's most watched network for the NFL, along with our producer, Richie Zients, our director, Rich Russo, and there's Jeremy Lane.
He came in and expect Peyton Manning to go after him. He's well aware of who's coming in these type of situations with an injury.
Lane in there in place of Richard Sherman. Pass is caught by Thomas underneath. And Demaryius Thomas brought down by K.J. Wright, a gain of 3.
That's the second time we saw it in the first half as well. Demaryius Thomas catches this ball. He's close to the first down. He's got to get going up the field and understand that he has to pick up the first down.
Third down and 3. Red Bryant came across, and that could be a first down and will be.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It was third down and 3. Red Bryant tried to get a jump. Meanwhile, Britton Colquitt, the punter for the Denver Broncos, he may as well go home. Down 29-0. You just get the feeling, unless they're pinned back, it's 4-down territory almost no matter where they are, with Peyton Manning on the field.
Yeah, came into this game with just one postseason punt, and the reason you state for obviously different reasons.
On first down to the end zone. Thomas downfield, incomplete. Richard Sherman gets up looking for the flag against Thomas.
That's one of those throws. I asked Peyton, would you be willing to take a shot down the field on Richard Sherman, because we know how good he is and what great ball skills he has. He plays this beautifully. Payton never had an opportunity to complete this pass, but what he did say was, if I go after him on the go route, I'm going to make sure that if I err deep, because I don't want him to have a chance to make a play on the ball. I think that one, more than anything, was just trying to back these guys off a little bit.
2nd and 10. Manning protected pass, broken up. Welker the intended target, and there's big Cam Chancellor. And the big body of Chancellor at 6'3", 232 on Welker, 5'9", 185.
Well, look what he does. He carries the guy up the seam. He's right in the middle of your screen. He's carrying Julius Thomas. He sees the route underneath. He comes off and puts a hit and jars the ball loose on Wes Welker. And that's what I mean. These guys see everything out there.
On 3rd down, the handoff is to Ball, and Monte Ball balled up. First guy there was K.J. Wright. A loss of 1. And on 4th down, Peyton Manning's going to have to come off the field. So, thankfully for Denver, Colquitt is still in the stadium.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision, Joe. When you look at 4th and long and the odds, you don't want to give the ball to Seattle with this kind of field position. You know, the defense, as I said, they've not been able to stop them through the first half.
So Colquitt waits for the snap from Aaron Brewer. Trying to pin it down inside the 20. Fair catch. Called in by Golden Tate inside the 10. They have won in all 3 phases so far. Offense, defense, special teams. A dominant performance to this point. They have the ball up 29.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Microsoft, empowering us all. By Coca-Cola, open happiness. By the all-new K900 luxury sedan from Kia. And by GoDaddy. Get your business found online. It's go time.
All the great picturesque shots of New York City. We're in East Rutherford. That was the municipal building. Celebrities on hand. Saw Hugh Jackman, Kevin Costner, Sir Paul McCartney, John Travolta, Terry Connick Jr., part of the Fox family now, David Beckham, Michael Douglas. And they have seen a lot of Seahawks celebrations up 29-0. The ball is spotted at the 8. Russell Wilson back to the field, and Russell Wilson, who was told all his life he wasn't big enough, the arm wasn't strong enough, he wasn't fast enough. Has his team in the Super Bowl in his 2nd year in the NFL. And off to Lynch, cuts back. And Marshawn Lynch, his best of the day, out across the 25. Brought down by Adams after a run of 18 yards.
Well, Denver, because of the situation right now, they have to play defensively a little differently than they'd really like to. So they stack the line. They're anticipating Marshawn Lynch. But what happens a lot of times then when you've got everybody stacked at the line of scrimmage, if you get beyond that first wave, there's a lot of open field. So an outstanding job by the offensive line creating a lane, and Marshawn Lynch finding it.
Lynch had 11 carries for 17 yards before that 18-yard run. And a nice play, Trevathan. Those two came face-to-face. No gain.
Well, Russell Wilson came out, as did the rest of this offense, expecting to have the ball to start this second half, and then you get the big return by Percy Harvin, and while Denver had the ball, Russell Wilson had to come back over here on the sidelines and loosen his arm up again.
He's not a tall guy. He's listed at 5'11". He's got a very strong arm. Can really spin it. On 2nd down, play action as Wilson is going to take off. Flag flies. Penalty flag is down as Russell Wilson hops out of bounds. And it's against Seattle on a hold.
Holding offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Russell Okun was guilty of the hold to erase a 22-yard run by Wilson.
Yeah, they had a shot down the field, so they go play action, and Golden Tate runs a great route. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie is slow reacting, so Russell Wilson wants to take the shot. I think he just didn't trust he had enough arm to get it all the way out there, and wouldn't have much mattered because Russell Okun, he gets called for the hold.
He threw Sean Phillips to the ground to bring up 2nd down and 20. Turbin is in the ball game, and he gets it. Robert Turbin right up the middle for 3. Learn more about the newest way to follow your favorite teams and players. NFL Now will deliver your personalized video whenever, wherever you want it. Sign up at NFL.com/now. 3-yard carry by Robert Turbin brings up 3rd down and 17. And there's the play selection called by offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell. Percy Harvin, 4 touches, 137 yards, and a touchdown. Pass is caught. Well played by Denver. And that's exactly what they needed as Golden Tate picked up nothing. Woodyard was out there, the middle linebacker for the Broncos.
Smart call. Smart call by Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator, as you see Woodyard come over and put a hit on him. I really expected them to just hand the ball off and say, hey, you know, we're not going to pick up this first down. We can run down more time off the clock, play to our defense. They're playing outstanding. They ran the quick throw, and they completed, and they keep the clock running.
Both Trendon Holiday and Eric Decker are back. Line drive punt. Nice pickup by Decker on that short hop to the 45. What, you got something over there?
You didn't say that since October.
I know. It was. Here's Peyton down 29. Aerial coverage provided by Bud Light. Seahawks defense back on the field here at MetLife Stadium. There's John Elway, who is the Executive Vice President of Football Operations. Won back-to-back Super Bowls. First time in 15 years they've been here. Here's Monte Ball. They're still working on the back of Noshawn Moreno, who left the last time the Broncos had it, a gain of 1. There's under 7 minutes to play here, and the Denver Broncos have got to start going down the field.
Yeah, they got to, you know, you do the math, Joe. They need 4 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions, and there's not a lot of time to accomplish that. They've got to start getting the ball down the field and trying to pick up a lot of yardage in chunks, which is hard to do against this defense.
2nd and 9. It's Demaryius Thomas, who is going to be good for a first down. Let's take you down to Aaron Andrews.
Joe, just an update on Noshawn Moreno. He spent time on and off the training table here. Athletic trainers working on that left side of his back, trying to loosen him up. He's been trying to stretch over here on the sidelines. And as Troy noted, Peyton Manning telling us they wanted to get him involved in this offense.
First down, Denver. From the 44, Manning protected. Pass caught. Demaryius Thomas. Ball out. Picked up by Seattle. Recovered by Malcolm Smith after it was knocked out by Maxwell. And a flag comes down at the end of the play. And Malcolm Smith has tucked away a souvenir. He's already got an interception return for a touchdown for 69 yards and now a fumble recovery.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Passing team, number 74. 15-yard penalty, headbutt, first down, timeout.
Maxwell just punched the ball out of the left arm of Demaryius Thomas, and it's the 3rd turnover for the Denver Broncos. Seattle takes over as they lead this one, 29-0. There is U.S. Army First Lieutenant Chuck Nadd from Winter Park, Florida, here at Super Bowl 48. 3rd turnover of the game. Seattle has not turned it over, and that's something Russell Wilson has done since he took over as the starter. He protects the football. Starting at their own 42. Here's Lynch. Lynch ran into a number of Bronco players, including Robert Ayers, a gain of 3.
You know, I really thought, Joe, coming into this game, that the passing game and Russell Wilson, they were going to, was going to have to get more out of it than what we've seen. And you know what, the game has gone really according to script for Pete Carroll. The way that they've won throughout this year, just playing solid defense, creating the takeaways as we saw, giving the offense great field position, scoring defensively. This is exactly what Pete Carroll was hoping for when we talked to him on Thursday.
On 2nd and 7, pass dropped by Wilson. Had it, was left alone, dropped it. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was out there, but that's just a drop by Luke Wilson, who caught 20 passes during the regular season. Now 3rd down and 7. You saw Pete Carroll. Troy, you mentioned him in his 4th year as head coach. He is the 2nd oldest head coach in the NFL. And you just wouldn't know that by looking at him. Totally energetic, bouncing around on the sideline, and this team takes their cue from him.
There's no doubt. I mean, he's enthusiastic. You watch him at practice. He's running around. He's bouncing around to the music just like the rest of his team is.
They're down at 7. Wilson. This time, Wilson hangs on and a first down. From Wilson to Wilson. And a 12-yard catch and run for the rookie tight end. And a first down for the Seattle Seahawks, as we've got just over 5 to play in the third quarter.
Well, you see, there just has not been much pressure on Russell Wilson. Early, he was able to get outside the pocket. But throughout the year, for a team that doesn't throw the ball more than Seattle does, they gave up a lot of sacks, and he's had to run around a lot. Think back to the NFC Championship game. He looked like Fran Tarkenton back there, but not the case here today. They've done a nice job protecting him.
Here's Lynch. Little delay. It doesn't go down easily. A gain of just a yard. Nate Irving on the stop. Check out Fox Sports Go for Super Bowl live streaming on your desktop and tablet. No special sign-in today. Download and find more at foxsportsgo.com. Second down for Seattle. Coming up on 4 minutes left, third quarter, 29-0 for the Seahawks in search of their first championship. Wilson to put it up. Slings it. Pass to Luckett. And Ricardo Luckett. Good for 19.
How about that throw by Russell Wilson? He gets great protection once again. Lockett with man coverage. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie right in his hip. And a perfectly thrown ball. Off of play action. Get the linebackers up. That's an outstanding job by Russell Wilson.
We saw Wilson miss on that first throw to a wide open tight end, Zach Miller. And I said it, you said it. Obviously, he jumped well. He's nervous. Well, after that, he's been locked in. They've used the ground game a bit. He's been able to get out of the pocket. He's hit 7 different receivers and that cuts. What a catch! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Jermaine Kearse.
Now, Jermaine Kearse, he just runs a simple slant route, and about 5 guys completely miss in trying to get Kearse to the ground. You'd like to maybe think that they're trying to knock the ball loose instead of making a play on the ball carrier, but Duki Hanacho comes in and just drops his head. Just terrible defense.
You saw that shot of John Schneider after the touchdown, and we need to talk about the general manager. As we go along, it took over January 19th of 2010. He has brought so much depth to the Seahawks. There's the GM. Thrilled. Up 36-0. 2:58 left. Third quarter. You talk about depth for the Seattle Seahawks. Jermaine Kearse was a free agent. Played collegiately at Washington. But they've got 5th, 6th, 7th round draft picks all over their roster. Street free agents. Unrestricted free agents brought in. Adding to the defense up front. 36-0. Under 3 minutes left, third quarter. And Holiday won't get a chance to return it. We'll give you a little review of some of the miscues that have happened in this game, and it happened on the first snap.
It's continued throughout this ball game, Joe, and it's interesting because, as we know, the Denver Broncos, especially offensively, I mean, they pride themselves, Peyton Manning, in their ability to execute, especially at the line of scrimmage, and yet they kick this game off with a miscommunication at the line, the safety, and nothing has gone right for this team.
Pass is caught. A flag is thrown. Monte Ball was hit by Cam Chancellor.
Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's the left tackle, Chris Clark. Seattle has scored in this game with a touchdown pass, a touchdown run, interception return, a kickoff return for a touchdown, a field goal, and a safety. Any way you can put up points, they've done it.
They've won every phase of this football game. You know, they've won at every position in this football game. I can't think of one Denver Bronco offensively or defensively that's won his matchup.
Here's Welker, who gets popped by K.J. Wright. This is as physical a defense as exists in the NFL.
Yeah, and I know these two teams met back in the preseason, Joe, back in August, and Seattle routed them in that game. It was at Seattle, and you say, okay, and it's preseason, and yeah, we did play more than we normally would, but you just can't prepare for the physical play of this defense and the speed in which they play it out.
2 minutes left, third quarter. Pass caught by Julius Thomas. Thomas crosses the 20. Brought down by Chancellor Kane at 8. Meanwhile, this Seattle defense, they're playing their second game in this stadium this year. They have yet to give up a point. They shut out the Giants here week 15, 23-0. That was against Eli. Now it's against him, Peyton. 3rd and 9. Pass is incomplete, but flags are thrown. Demarius Thomas. Face guarded by Byron Maxwell.
Yeah, this is the right call. Byron Maxwell right there. He's got his arm on him, and
pass interference.
Ball's underthrown. He's trying to come back and make a play. So they finally get
first down.
The penalty, which allows them to get the first down. And Joe, you talk about John Schneider and the job that he's done assembling this team. Normally those middle to late round guys they're more role players. You know, the guys that he's picked up in the 5th and 6th round, they're all pro players. I mean, it is amazing the turnover since he took over and the job that he has done putting this team together.
Pass is caught by Welker, who's got a first down. Maxwell is a 6th round pick. Welker gets 12. And they really built this defense from the back end forward with these big corners on the outside and a great tandem with big and smaller at safety. First down, Denver. There's Welker's day in your Fox box, 6 catches. Pass is caught by Tammy. And the tight end has another first down.
Now you talk about that, Joe, and John Schneider was with the Green Bay Packers, and they had smaller corners during his tenure there, and he knew when he got an opportunity to pick his guys, he wanted big corners, and that's what he has brought in here. And that's what he looks for, and then he lets Pete Carroll and that staff coach him up and turn them into the playmakers that they are.
On first down, Manning, he's got Welker. And Wes Welker is out of bounds just inside the 15 at the 14-yard line, a gain of 22.
That's the one area of the field that we've seen Denver have some opportunities. The first interception in the game when Cam Chancellor got it on an errant throw, but that middle seam throw, that dagger deep across the field, they've had chances. That's the same throw they hit Demarius Thomas on when the ball got knocked out by Maxwell.
2 seconds left in the quarter. Pass is caught for the touchdown. Demarius Thomas still playing with a tremendous catch for the first points of this game for the Denver Broncos.
It looked like Byron Maxwell might have even tackled Thomas before the ball got there. I thought there should have been a flag, but it didn't matter. He's able to bring it in. A ball well thrown by Manning. And now here's the first of many 2-point conversions that are required.
Yeah, if they get the opportunity, the touchdown to Thomas, who had 14 touchdown receptions during the regular season to lead the AFC. 2-point try. They only attempted one of these during the regular season. One so far in the postseason. It's Trendon Holiday. They fake the toss. Welker out of the backfield. Good for 2. In this game, Demarius Thomas with a Super Bowl record 12 catches. We're through 3 quarters. First points of the day for the Denver Broncos. It's 36-8. Back after this from your local Fox station. We begin the 4th quarter here at MetLife Stadium. 36-8. Seattle. The hands team is out there for the Seahawks, expecting an onside kick attempt from Matt Prater. Long way to go for the Denver Broncos. Down 28. Popped up into the air. Zach Miller is there to receive it. After the game, Kurt and the guys bring you exclusive post-game coverage on the Chevrolet Super Bowl 48 post-game show. And MVP balloting is now open. Go to NFL.com/MVP or vote on your mobile device by texting MVP to 69635. Vote now. Tough choice at this point. A lot of different individuals you could pick for the Seattle Seahawks. As Russell Wilson takes over at the 48 of the Denver Broncos with Turbin behind him in the backfield.
I think I'll give it to the entire secondary. shut down Peyton Manning in this offense, and the passing game the way they have is just outstanding.
Here's Turbin getting to the edge. Penalty flag is down on the play. And it was thrown in the area where the block was made as Turbin turned the corner. They call holding on the offense. It looked like 78 Alvin Bailey is what Terry McCauley said.
Yeah, they bring in Alvin Bailey when they want to go big up front. The extra offensive lineman, I think it was a good call with the hold against Sean Phillips.
And moves the ball back to the 42-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. Now 1st and 20 in a comparison of the two quarterbacks. 30 of 40 is Peyton Manning with 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Seahawks have asked less of Russell Wilson. He's been very good, very solid. Pass is caught by Miller. He's into Denver territory. I know it ticks you off when you hear other guys describe Russell Wilson as a game manager at quarterback.
Well, I just think it's a derogatory term. I don't think you win in this league. You certainly don't get to the Super Bowl in this league with a quarterback that just manages games. I mean, you then fail to take into consideration the plays that the guy makes on 3rd down with people in his face or scrambling around and threading the needle and keeping a drive alive that ultimately Marshawn Lynch scores. So it may not look impressive with the numbers, but he's been a big contributor to this football team.
2nd down and 11. Wilson out to his left. Pass is caught. That's Golden Tate trying to get the 1st down. He gave up some yardage back to the 40. He gained 9. And one of the Broncos is down. It's Paris Lennon. And Russell Wilson is well aware of the entire team he plays on with a good defense he can rely on. Very smart in his 2nd year. Take a timeout as they look at Lennon here in the 4th quarter.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new Audi A3. Stay uncompromised.
It's 3rd down and 2. And as we welcome you back with 13:35 left in the 4th quarter, along with our producer, Richie Zients, our director, Rich Russo, we want to send our best to our good friend, Sandy Grossman, one of the true legends of our business. Legendary director watching tonight's game in Florida. Everybody here, the Fox family thinking of not just Sandy, but his entire family. And now 3rd down and 2. Harvin starts the play in the backfield. Wilson's trying to find somewhere to go. And he's got a completion for a 1st down to Doug Baldwin. A conversion on 3rd down yet again. And a completion for 6 to Baldwin.
Well, here's Russell Wilson and just, being able to buy some time and keeping the play alive. And then Doug Baldwin working across the field. And I thought it was interesting in practice the other day, Joe, watching Doug Baldwin on Thursday. He was all over the place and talking the entire time. And a guy who has a great deal of confidence but feels that he was slighted by the fact that he wasn't drafted. But he's really helped this team when you talk about the main contributors of this group.
Playing for Joe Harbaugh at Stanford. There's Kurtz. Knocked down, and they're going to mark him at the 10. A 24-yard completion to Jermaine Kearse, and it just continues for the Seattle offense.
And how about Jermaine Kearse? Think back to the NFC Championship game on 4th down, and he runs this same route, catches the ball for a touchdown that really was a difference in that game. He's become quite a playmaker himself.
A lot of work in the offseason with Russell Wilson. Kearse has that bigger body that Wilson likes to throw to. Big target. Here's Baldwin, smaller target, and he ducks in for the touchdown.
Denver's doing. They're playing so soft, and I understand it if it's a close ball game, but this game, they need to be taking chances and trying to create a takeaway, but for all practical purposes, this game is over.
Meanwhile, the tackling has been just awful for the Denver Broncos.
I thought they were done throwing the ball about 4 passing attempts ago, and they just kept throwing it on that drive and picked them apart.
Russell Wilson, 2 touchdown passes in this game, leading 43-8. Here in the 4th, Super Bowl 48.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Hyundai and the new Elantra. Nice. And by Budweiser, who reminds fans to always designate a driver.
Aerial coverage provided by Bud Light. Well, this city has been such a great host city to this Super Bowl. And for the gentleman from the Seattle Seahawks, looking at Paul Allen, who took over in June of '97, talked a lot about John Schneider. Been plenty written about the job he did putting this roster together. Peter McLaughlin, their team president. And Pete Carroll in his 4th year. Here's Holiday taking it from about the goal line. Lockett brought him down. Just chased him down. And Ricardo Lockett made a good special teams play. Let's flash back. Joe Montana and the 49ers scored a Super Bowl record 55 points en route to their 2nd straight Super Bowl championship, Super Bowl 24. The Broncos' 3rd Super Bowl loss in 4 years. Montana, 297 yards, 5 touchdowns. Elway threw for just 108. 55-10 was the final in Super Bowl 24. 35-point game here. 11:38 to go. Batted down. And that's Averill again.
And you talked earlier, Joe, as far as, who do you consider as the MVP of this game? I said, hey, why not the Legion of Boom? But Cliff Averill, he can make a case for himself, too. And the job that he did impacting this game early with the interceptions makes another nice play.
Spent 5 years in Detroit with the Lions. Pass broken up. There's Sherman. And he was joined by Earl Thomas. And Sherman slow to get up. Demarius Thomas was the intended target. Meanwhile, Richard Sherman gets attention after closing on this play. And so we will take a timeout as they check on Sherman here in the 4th.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by T-Mobile.
Richard Sherman got up and was helped off the field. With under 11.5 to go, it's 3rd down and 10 for Denver. Roll at their own 13. Manning, contact and a flag. Demarius Thomas again. Flag thrown on the coverage as he was working against Walter Thurman.
Defense number 28. Automatic first down.
We saw Richard Sherman go off the field, so they slide Walter Thurman from the inside slot defender to the outside and then bring in Jeremy Lane. They don't lose much. Richard Sherman, of course, he's, in my opinion, the best corner in football, but they've got answers, and bringing Jeremy Lane into the slot position, he still can hold up pretty well.
Manning steps up. There's Demarius Thomas adding to his Super Bowl record. Catch number 13, a 17-yarder from Peyton Manning. And again, now it's Walter Thurman who's down. They just lost Richard Sherman. And now Thurman with the ball at the 45-yard line. And Richard Sherman needs some help just getting onto the cart. Well, you never know how these things are going to unfold with the number 1 defense against the number 1 offense. And in this head-to-head matchup between those two groups, the number 1 defense just totally dominated this game.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw this coming. I certainly didn't. I thought that when we talked to both groups, I thought Denver was confident. You expect that. You're in the Super Bowl. But when we talked to the Legion of Boom, all of those guys, I was amazed at how confident they were. And I know that Peyton's numbers, suggest that they've had all this yards. I don't know where it came from because I really haven't seen it watching this game. I think they've done an outstanding job, and this defense has continued to do the things that we expected from them, or at least what they had shown of themselves throughout this season.
Yeah, all those guys are different back there in the secondary for the Seahawks. And to a man, they sat there in the front of the room just talking to us informally, confident, looking forward to this matchup, and saying we're not going to change a thing that we do. We're here because of the way we play, no matter who we play. And they've proven that here tonight. On first down, pass caught by Ball, and he is wrapped up immediately by Malcolm Smith, who's been all over the place. And Malcolm Smith is a former 7th-round pick out of USC. Second down for the Broncos. 2nd and 9. because he made the catch. 3rd and 2 coming up. Clinton McDonald on the stop.
Yeah, we knew, of course, Joe, Denver had not seen a defense like Seattle's, coming into the game. But still, you thought it was really going to be just a well-contested matchup between these two units, and just never materialized.
3rd down and 2. Pass is dropped by Decker. Now 4th down. Tammy comes on with Demarius Thomas, and the offense will stay out there for Denver. Manning with 33 completions in this game, which is a Super Bowl record. But down 35. Pass is incomplete. And Seattle will take over. Monte Ball could not make the catch and secure it as you see it come off the turf. Taking over on downs, the Seahawks. Under 10 to go. Stage like this to local artists. Kid Bruce Springsteen, Freehold, New Jersey. Percy Harvin, there's his day. 137 total yards in this Super Bowl after 75 all-purpose yards during the regular season. 58 of which came on a kick return. Here's Turbin. By the way, Marshawn Lynch has got his shoes off over on the sideline, so we're going to see Turbin the rest of the night.
About kicking mine off.
2nd down coming up for Seattle. Oh, they're back on. They were off earlier. Helmet kick back. I mean, what a feeling for these guys.
It's a great feeling, Joe. I've been in a game like this, my first Super Bowl, just like Russell Wilson, and this is a great moment for this entire team and organization.
Check. Even stack.
On 2nd and 4, more from Turbin, about a yard short. Let's go down the field and Pam Oliver.
All right, Joe, more than likely we won't be seeing cornerback Richard Sherman for the rest of the game. The Seahawks report Sherman has a right ankle injury. They immediately listed him as doubtful.
All right, so Richard Sherman, big reason why they are in this Super Bowl with what he did, not just in that champ game, but all season long. He is one of the rare shutdown corners.
Well, a great year, and you just hate to see an injury like this in the last game of the season. I hope it's not too serious, but he could be spending the next 6 months rehabbing that one.
Turbin's got a 1st down inside the 40. Turn to Fox Sports 1 right after the game for the exclusive postgame coverage. Only Fox can bring you live from MetLife Stadium, from Times Square, and from Denver and Seattle. The Super Bowl postgame coverage nobody else can get you is only on Fox Sports 1 right after the game.
We saw that shot earlier, Joe, of owner Paul Allen and general manager John Schneider, and then, of course, Pete Carroll is the head coach. And what a great trio that is. A well-run organization, an owner that will do anything for his team, a GM that brings in the players, and the guys on the sideline that coach them up. It's just a great model on how to put together a football team and how to go about business.
Penalty flag on the play.
Holding offense number 86.
I mean, this is a young roster.
1st down.
This is a young roster with all that depth we've talked about. You can say the same in some regard with San Francisco, another tenant in the NFC West, which is one of the tougher divisions now in the NFL. Arizona had a good year. St. Louis seems to be improving. And you look at the roster, the Seahawks, 26.4 years old, their average age. It would tie the youngest number and the lowest number with regard to age in Super Bowl history for a winner. Wilson takes off. Look out. And he will hop out of bounds. Of the 4 major pro sports, just the 78-79 Seattle Supersonics, the only team for Seattle to win a title. Defeated the Bullets 4-1, led by Dennis Johnson. Downtown Freddie Brown, Jack Sikma, coached by the great Lenny Wilkins.
And you showed that graphic on how young this team is, and you never know in today's NFL, but it's just hard to imagine, and maybe we say that each week with the team that wins the Super Bowl, but it's hard to imagine this team not being good for a long time.
Taking it inside the 30 is Turbin. Looks to be just short of first down yardage. 3rd down and 1 coming up.
I thought it was interesting in visiting with John Schneider earlier in the week and talking to him not only about what he's looking at for defensive backs and corners, but all the various positions. He knows exactly what he wants and the type of player that he wants. If it doesn't fit, he's not bringing them in. And I don't know that there's a lot of organizations around the league that can say that.
Meanwhile, you look at it from Denver's perspective and from Peyton Manning's perspective. They were heartbroken last January when they lost in double overtime in the divisional round to the Baltimore Ravens after being tied with 31 seconds left. They lose in double overtime. Now they're the #1 seed. They get to this point. Peyton Manning in his 2nd year with the Denver Broncos. He's had those 4 neck procedures, including a fusion back there, and you just don't know where this goes for Peyton Manning when this season finally comes to a close here tonight.
Joe, the year that he had, as great as it was and as enjoyable as it was for him, this is painful. This is a hard way to end your season. And once he came to Denver and was signed and made the decision to be a Bronco, the expectation was to win a world championship. And who does that? Who even gets their team to the Super Bowl? And he was right on the cusp. And they came out and played their worst game collectively across the board. And just never were competitive in this ball game.
The Mule Jean-Pierre takes over at center on 3rd down and 1. Phillips made that play. He wasn't alone. Trevathan as well. No gain by Robert Turbin. It's 4th down. So on 4th down, we'll see there's Paul Allen. Local guy who took over. And what they've built with this roster, what they've built with their stadium in Seattle, Washington. It is a model of and for success in the NFL. On 4th down, Russell Wilson keeps it, pass incomplete. The Broncos will take over. Turbin, the intended target. The Lombardi Trophy is here, making its way out. Seattle Seahawks are aiming for their first. They lost to Pittsburgh at the end of the 05 season. Frustrating way for them to end their year. A couple of calls that went against them in that Super Bowl. Here tonight, up 35 points with just over 5 to go. So the defense for Seattle back out there. Peyton Manning back out there for the Broncos at his own 31. Here's Monte Ball right side. Spins forward. Out near the 34. Picked up 3. Malcolm Smith on the tackle.
And at this point, you see Denver, and they're just wanting to see this clock wind down.
Yeah, down by 35, running the ball. Peyton Manning, who between 1998 and 2010 never missed a start. Had to sit out all of 2011. Here's Paul right side, just swarmed. Came back in 2012. Peyton Manning's got his team in the Super Bowl here tonight, but overwhelmed by Seattle as O'Brien Schofield made that last play for the Seahawks.
Well, Joe, a lot of talk this week in the media about what this game would mean to Peyton Manning and what it would mean if they lost this ball game. And as I said throughout the week, obviously it would mean something if they were able to win. But Peyton Manning, whether this is his last game or if he plays for 2 or 3 more years, he is going down as a top 5 all-time quarterback. And I don't think this means one thing ultimately to how he's remembered and the impact that he's made on this league.
3rd down and 11. Pass is incomplete. 4th down to Demarius Thomas, the intended target. 12 seconds into the game. Here's how it started. A snap by Manny Ramirez over the head of Peyton Manning. Moreno on top of it, and a safety. And now on 4th down, the offense will stay out there for Denver. 4th and 11. Touchdowns in all 3 phases against the Broncos in this game. Manning has it knocked out of his hand. That's a live ball and recovered by Seattle. Either way, they were going to get it. It was knocked out by Clemens. And the Seahawks defense just keeps coming at the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, they're not stopping. You know, they saw Denver run the ball early on this possession, and then they throw it, and here comes Chris Clemens making a play off the edge against Chris Clark.
And so now Seattle offense will take over. I thought it was interesting sitting down talking with Russell Wilson when he told us that last year after getting knocked out of the playoffs, he actually went to the Super Bowl in New Orleans just to take it in. He wanted to get there early like he does even when he's playing. And he wanted to get down onto the field and watch guys prepare to play in an actual Super Bowl so he could file it away for when he got his chance. And his chance comes here at the end of the 2013 season.
Now, he's impressive. Howie Long coached against him back in high school. He said he was the same mature young man that he is today. He's making the same plays back then.
Here's Turbin on first down, a gain of 3. The Lombardi Trophy. Here's the man, Vince Lombardi. The Seattle Seahawks are under 3.5 minutes away from making it official. That'll be handed out at the end of this one. Russell Wilson just checked out of the game. Tavares Jackson in. Turbin again. Third down coming up.
I think it's a nice gesture that the staff did getting Tavares Jackson into this game. He's been working hard too. But Russell Wilson, in visiting with him, said that his dad used to always tell him, why not you? Why not you, Russell? And when Russell came to Seattle, he talked to the team recently and he said, hey, why not me? Why not us? You know, and here they are, and they're going to be the world champions for the 2013 season. And just a great job throughout the year by him, leading this football team. It's been fun to watch. Just a born leader. A quarterback rating of 123.1 in this game. Found 8 different receivers. Jackson keeps it out to his right. Just throws it away. It'll be 4th down. Richard Sherman. He's on crutches as his night on the field as a player is over, obviously, but he's waiting for the celebration. A big part of why the Seattle Seahawks are going to leave New Jersey with that Lombardi Trophy. Well, hey, Joe, I played with the last guy who I considered a shutdown corner, and that being Deion Sanders. And you hear it thrown around a lot. But Richard Sherman is the closest thing I've seen. We've seen it throughout the postseason. Teams just don't challenge him very often. And when they do, they usually pay. And what a great year he had. And you just hope, again, like I said, that the injury's not too serious. He's able to enjoy his offseason.
We're at the 2-minute warning. That was a 4th down carry. The Denver Broncos take over, but it's academic right now. Nice moment. Pete Carroll, Percy Harvin, all Seattle tonight. 2-minute warning at MetLife.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
A minute 59 to go. 43-8. The Seattle Seahawks, who led 2-0 in a blink on a safety to start the night. Taking over at the 24 is the classy Peyton Manning, 5-time league MVP. Record-setting year. Both in touchdowns, passing yards. That's Anderson. His first catch and run, C.J. Anderson. Ball did come free. It looked like Anderson was down. Steve Vallows comes away with the football anyway, and it's a first down for Denver and Pete Carroll. You know, some Troy said, well, he's just a college coach. He can just rally the kids. He's done a brilliant job with the Seahawks, a guy who was the head coach with the Jets in 94, 97 and 99 with New England. 4th year here, and boy, he has established a winning culture in Seattle. Anderson picks up 3.
He's really created a great environment here in Seattle. I mean, this team, as we know, they play hard, but nobody has more fun playing, and it doesn't look like anybody has more fun coaching than Pete Carroll.
The Chevrolet Super Bowl post-game show follows the game tonight. Super Bowl 48. The Seahawks 45 seconds away from their first world championship. On 2nd down, the handoff to Anderson. And that should be it. Dominant performance across the board. Pete Carroll, the Seattle Seahawks, winding their way 15 seconds away officially in the first world championship